wonderful people, but really don't move a lot of people from head and flesh into heart. That's not to denigrate them. They do some, but I was looking for who is an example of creating a mass global movement, who or what. And even those great examples don't indicate promise down that road. Pitirim Sorokin, the great sociologist studying love at Harvard, and I'll just scroll up here. So the huge movers are not individuals. Loving rich, example-rich environments, however they come about. An unexplained predisposition toward loving. Why did a young woman by the name of Teresa, I think that was her, no, actually, I don't think that was her original name, turn into Mother Teresa? Who knows, but she did. The man Jesus, bet there are 100 Gandhis and Gandhi likes that his example inspires per year, including yours truly. Saintly parents, my saintly dad, and I thought saintly mom. And Pitirim Sorokin's study of where saints come from points centrally to saintly parents. Saint-rich life. Buddha, to my surprise and reflection, among all the religious leaders next to Jesus, my sense is that he's produced a fair amount, and still does per year. The incredible combination of Norman Finkelstein of academic greatness and moral courage, in which he's huge, I suspect moves people every year significantly. Intuitively, I think lust-poor environments, Amish, for example, temptation-poor environments. So the absence here of people that are lustful in the environment of Amish children is my guess. The absence of physical temptations, alcohol, drugs, in Amish environments, I suspect is responsible for producing loving, substantially loving people. The example, ferociously heroic loving, sustained over so many years, devoid of any distractions or political aspects, makes Teresa stand out as someone that produces many. Our men and women in uniform, their heroic example. Writers like Dickens, I think, writers of significant movies, produce some. Gandhi through his heroic example, the Obamas through their heroic example. Who's quite striking on the other end. It was quite amazing to me that psychology, the religions, It wasn't amazing to me that the religions didn't, but here it is reflected. They move almost no one out of head and flesh into heart. Quite the opposite. They've been fully co-opted from what they were designed to do. Business people just hardly ever do. Maybe there's a promising possibility in, what's it called, social entrepreneurship, but that's yet to take hold. Now, maybe more quickly, I'll try and look at destroyed per year. And in the Hall of Shame, boy, I wish I had $100 for every person that I've seen destroyed going into the seminary or destroyed by the so-called church. Their hearts deadened and turned out as scribes and Pharisees. Business can be so altruizing, but that's not how we use it. We use it as a substitute for church. The worship of material pleasures for the head and flesh. Jews, that is the Jewish religion, Muslims, just create so much hatred, deaden people's hearts and move them into hateful head and flesh. Entertainers, with so few exceptions, spend their lives tempting us into selfishness. The media anymore, with very few exceptions, just another form of entertainment. Psychology, as we see in One Flew Over a Cuckoo's Nest, is used to adapt us to dead hearts, to avoid the worst forms of the insanity of living out of our head and flesh. Scholars tend to be servants of business people, of the status quo, as are lawyers, paid mercenary army to do the bidding of head and flesh. Science, handmaiden of selfish pleasures for the head and flesh. Philosophy, mental masturbation, that is, taking people who otherwise might be on the field of serving people, taking them off that field and helping them feel noble and worthwhile about it. Parents that in this American society have no idea that the purpose of marriage is to better serve humanity than people can themselves. So the chance of two saintly parents winding up in a household, almost nil. Assisi, significant harm done because of his religious affiliation. That isn't to fault him. Maslow, with his taint of head and flesh worship, costs some hearts. Monasteries, with their affiliation with tainted religion. Ministers, with their affiliation with the status quo, with worship of business. Sports figures. And then, in the real Hall of Shame, no, okay. Then if we move over to collateral damage, where it can't so much lay at the feet of the line item, but as a collateral impact. Christians. Read Howard Zinn's People's History of the United States for the 12 million Native Americans exterminated by Christian Columbus in the name of Christian Spain, or the nice Christian slaveholders, or the nice Christian South American apartheid ruling class. Muslims with their hateful practices toward women, business people. Goodness, how can I have that so low? It was business people that funded Hitler, American business people largely that funded Hitler. Jews Jews in name only, as with Christians in name only, and Muslims in name only. Major reason for U.S. soldiers being killed with the hatred that they're visiting on the Palestinians, and us by association, our fault. Entertainers, oh my gosh, they don't intend to destroy hearts, but theirs are destroyed. Look at Whitney Houston, and then they drag the rest of us with them. Same with media, science, psychology. These are the big killers. And if we then look at this next column in net, so the big heroes, loving rich environments. Be the change you wish to see in the world. If you want more love in the world, then be loving every waking second. And if you don't make that choice, then you're producing the opposite. Unexplained predisposition towards loving. Who knows why Jesus became what he became? No, I mean, who in truth knows? The man Jesus, his example. Well, let's see now. Sorry. Let's try that again. Saved. Oh, I guess that was right. And now the Hall of Shame. Business people, Muslims, Christians, Jews, the media, entertainers, science, not evil per se, neither is Christianity for that matter, but evil, but killing the way we use it. Psychology, the noblest of sciences used properly, but the way we use it, a death camp. Ministers, agents of the status quo. Politicians, agents of the status quo. Scholars, lawyers. sports figures, philosophy, monasteries because their association with these killing religions. Same with Assisi. Saintly parent isn't good enough. It twists the kid in these toxic environments. And then finally,